The unmatched skills of a false teacher and a false prophet is their ability to explain away the scriptures. It doesn't matter what scripture you ask them, they have a very special way with words. They can explain away any scriptures in the Bible. For example, if you would ask a false prophet, what does it mean to willfully sin after you have received the knowledge of the truth? Well, to them, it has nothing to do with sinning willfully. If you ask them, what does that mean to do the will of the Father? Well, they will tell you, they will take you to this scripture and that scripture and tell you that doing the will of the Father has nothing to do with obedience, because they say obedience has nothing to do with loving God or believing in God. Because to them, doing the will of the Father is just simply believe that Jesus came in the flesh and died for your sin and then rose again on the third day, and that's it. There's no obedience. Because obedience to them is just simply legalistic. Well, doing the will of the Father is we have to love God with all of our heart, mind, and soul. Doing the will of the Father is to seek God with all of your heart, mind, and soul, to diligently seek Him. To do the will of the Father is to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, mind, and soul. And how would you love God? How do you do that? Loving God by obeying His commandment. And how are we to obey His commandment? Simply, love your neighbor as yourself. Put God first. Seek Him first and His kingdom and His righteousness. Doing the will of the Father is doing the will of Jesus, because Jesus and the Father are one. And that's what He say, if you love me, obey my commandment. And how are we to obey His commandment? To take heed of His word and to simply obeying them. That's why Jesus says, if you love me, he that loveth me keepeth my saying. That's why He's liking to a person. He's liking, comparing a person that listen, when he hear His word and do His word, He is comparing that person to a wise builder that built his house upon a rock. But when you just hear the word of Christ and not doing them, guess what He calls you? A foolish builder that built his house upon the foundation of mud.